to fulfill your promise, I will sincerely appreciate. I'm trying to record. Give me a few seconds and then we'll kickstart. It's almost ready. Okay, it is ready now. So I'll share my screen now. What is it, baby? Okay, let me find something to position my laptop very well so you can see my face. It seems I will not be able to stand throughout today's lesson. Give me a few seconds, please. Can you see? Okay, you can see my face now. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I welcome you to class. This evening, we will be learning impromptu speech. Impromptu speech. If you have not got access to the public speaking course lessons, please, you have to get access to it. Or maybe I've not sent it to you. Please let me know. It's already in the group. Please start learning. This is like a bonus session for everyone on that program. Was supposed to be held last week. Unfortunately, I couldn't show up. Thank God I'm here today. So thank you all for showing up as well. Those that are not here will get access to the replay. Now, in the public speaking lesson, we were able to explore different topics. And this is just one of those topics that will also help your public speaking skill. And I tagged it impromptu speech. Now, have you ever been asked to speak or to say a few words somewhere without being told before? Maybe you attended a party or in an association, even in the classroom or in the meeting, you were not informed before and you just told on the spot that you need to say a few words. And sometimes when these happen, our mind, our hearts would feel this boom, boom, boom. Sometimes it even goes completely blank. The truth is that feeling is universal. The last time I had opportunity to have an impromptu speech was when I worked alongside other thought leaders at a communication context. So it was towards the end of the contest, like the contest is over. They were announcing the winners. I represented as a judge. That was when they came in and whispered to my ear, "We'd like you to say a few words." And then at that point, my mind was like, bing, 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 bing. The next thought that came to my head was, okay, quickly go to AI and find something. I did. I went to AI. And the moment I got there, something just reminded me that, Bukola, you are falling our hand. Do not mind me. The thing said, have you forgotten that when it comes to impromptu speech, it is not about the genius ideas. It is more about the simplicity and that one strong idea that you have to pass. It's not about the genius ideas. You don't have to say 3-4 things. It's just that one thing that you have to share about the moment that is true, that they can feel, that would help them. And not in the perfect way, but in the simplest way. And you know what? Immediately I left my phone. I sat there for a few seconds before I was called. And the moment I got on stage, I was shocked at myself. So why am I sharing this with you? I'm saying that feeling of your mind going blank, of you feeling like you need help, you need someone to quickly write something for you. It's universal, that fear feeling. Remember, in one of the lessons, we had already said that stage fright is real. You're not the only one feeling it. Those that you see on the stage and you admire, they have it somewhere in them. But they were able to channel that fear into positive energy. They were able to use that fear to drive them to do something. And like one of my coaches will say, anything worth doing well is worth doing badly first. So first tonight, I want you to acknowledge that feeling. If you have ever been called anywhere to say a few words, to come out and speak without being informed, whatever feeling you had at that point, I want you to know that it is okay to feel like that. It's a universal feeling. It's normal. Everybody would feel just like that. Nothing is wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not wise enough. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy to be called. So the first is to know that, yes, it's fine. Because remember, impromptu speaking isn't about being a genius. It isn't about having genius ideas. It's not about having 3 ideas, 4 ideas, 5 ideas. No, it is more about having a few simple tools. And most importantly, the confidence to use that tool. Have you watched videos on social media where people would ask questions? Most times they do these videos in school environment or in the marketplace. The one I watched recently was when the host went to the marketplace to ask market women what they would do with $1. I don't know if you've seen that video, and a lot of them will say things like, I'll build a house, I'll buy a car, I'll stock my shop, etc. They are talking rubbish. We don't say saying rubbish, we say talking rubbish. They are talking rubbish confidently. How will $1 is maybe 1,600 naira? Yes, I think I bought some dollar yesterday for a Zoom. I think it was 1,600 naira. How would 1,600 naira be able to get you more stuff in your store or in your shop, buy your house, buy your car? But because you don't even know what $1 is, once you hear dollars, it feels like, hey, we go gaga and all of that. So they don't even know what they're talking about. They don't have facts and figures. The content they have is rubbish. It's not true. It's not correct. But they have that confidence in front of the camera to say it out anyways. Have you also watched videos of students, especially these Abuja University? They do a lot of videos around there, asking them questions like, what's your discipline? You're in the university, you attend classes, you don't even know what your discipline is. Some of them talk rubbish. They say things like, my father hates it when you pollute the air, things like that, things that does not even correlate. But you see that confidence in them. So what am I saying? When it comes to impromptu speech, it is okay for you not to have content at that time you were called. But then there are simple tools that can help you quickly put together content in few seconds. And that is what we will be exploring tonight. But for you to use that tool, you need confidence. One of the videos talked about confidence, how to project confidence. It's from the inside, something you have from your inside to the outside. So it's not just something you need to powder. It is something that starts from the inside, excuse me, please, to the outside. So you need to build confidence. If you have not watched that video, you need to go watch it again. If you have, you might need to watch again and remember to practice. So tonight, like I said, would focus on these simple tools that would help you to be able to have something to say anytime you're called anywhere to speak, especially when you're not prepared, when you're not informed. But then that confidence is something you have to bring out yourself. So before we go into those tools, let's really talk about a bit of impromptu mindset shift. Public impromptu speech is not about perfection. First, it is about embracing the messiness, embracing that at the beginning of your speech, you might not be able to dive in immediately. Now, have you seen people being called to come speak in public? They get the microphone, they get on stage, and they keep quiet for a few seconds. If you have experienced that before, give me a thumbs up or something. Like somebody is being called, maybe in a birthday party, and you're asked, oh, you're the best friend of the celebrant. Please come say one or two things about the celebrant. Sometimes they won't tell you ahead. And you just get there, they're telling you to do that. Or maybe it's a valedictory service and you are not even informed that you are going to say one or two things and you're being invited to come say something. Or maybe during meetings at your workplace or in your voluntary association, you're asked to come say one or two things. Or you've seen people do that. Most times, one of the things that make you a good speaker when it comes to impromptu speech is that pause. Thank you, Lami. Is that pause at the beginning of your speech. Remember, you do not even know what to say yet. Your mind is blank. Sometimes you know what to say, but you need time to structure it. Remember, for every speech, it must be well structured. You need your introduction, you need your body, and you need your conclusion. So you need time to structure. So what a lot of people that are not experienced in terms of impromptu speeches, what they do is they get on stage and they quickly launch out. And when they do that, many times they do a lot of they do something like, hi everyone, my name is, like you see people even saying to say their names, not because they don't know their name, but because there's this imbalance happening in their mind, in their brain and all. So they need time to put themselves together. So the first thing you want to do is to embrace the messiness. Embrace that your mind might go blank. You might not have your thoughts well put together. So how do you deal with that? The moment you get there, do not just launch into whatever you have to say. Take few minutes, few seconds. Depends on you, how fast you're able to think on your feet. Take that pause to help you gather, especially your first opening thought. Remember, we did our task. We did an activity on how to open your speech, how to have one of the best introduction when it comes to public speaking. It could be by asking rhetoric questions. It could be by using a quote. Remember, when you're using a quote, make sure to give accolades. Some accolades is due the person who owns the quote, except he's anonymous. You can also do that through anecdote, that is by sharing a story, or it could be a statistic. And sometimes when it comes to impromptu speech, you could also repeat what you're asked to do for clarity's sake, especially if it's a question. One of the things we do in Toastmaster is impromptu speech. For every meeting, we have a session where we have our impromptu speech. So normally they give you a topic. The topic might be, if you were the president of Nigeria, what would you do differently? One of the best things to do is to repeat that question or repeat the topic again. It helps your brain, it helps your mind to be in a relaxed position. And of course, it also gives you that time to think about your answer. So do not be in a rush. First, embrace the messiness by pausing, by being silent for a few seconds. The second is to focus on one big idea. For every question you want to answer, for every speech you want to give, when you're not prepared or when you're not informed, you do not need 3, 5, 6 big ideas. All you need is one strong idea, a single idea. Just stick to that single idea. I hope you know that a single idea, you can have 3 points, 5 points for one single idea. And you don't even have to go through all of these points because, of course, your audience know that this is something you're doing on your feet. They do not expect perfection. But then you also do not want to misinform them. So if you're being asked, if you were the president, what would you do differently? And you've not had that thought before. Nobody had informed you before. Stick to one thing. What is that one thing that you will do? You don't have to list 50 things. You don't have to list 3 things. Just one thing. If you would focus more on education, focus on education. If your strength will be electricity, good road network, enough food, or should I say affordable food, whatever it is, a single strong idea is enough. You do not need to have a lot of ideas. And of course, do not forget to smile. Do not forget your body language. Do not forget your pauses, pace, and gesture. Very important. Now let's get to the framework or the simple tool, like I said, that you need to help you speak greatly anywhere you find yourself. Now, there are about 3 tools, but I will be explaining 2 of them tonight. And the first is what I call the PREP method. The PREP method. PREP method, PREP method. Each letter in that spelling, PREP, has its meaning. And this is a very simple and direct way to give any impromptu speech, whether it's in form of a question, in form of a conversation, or in form of a speech. The PREP method is always there to help you. Now, what does the P mean? The P means point. You want to state your main idea or your opinion directly and confidently. So imagine you are in a meeting and you are asked to share your opinion about something. Maybe that's the first time you're hearing about that thing, or you've heard about it before, but you didn't even pay attention because maybe it's not your department, or you're not expected to even talk about it. What is the first thing? The moment you're asked to do that thing, find a point. Start with a main idea or an opinion. So let's assume at your workplace, they're trying to create situations where some people can work from home, where everyone can come to the office maybe 3 times a week or 2 times a week. And now everybody's sharing their thoughts. So it's your turn. Start with a main idea. You could say something like, I believe remote work has a positive impact on employees' productivity. You have started with a main point. So for you, the single idea, your main point for that, what you're trying to fight for, is productivity. So you have stated that you believe that remote working or working from home has a positive impact on employees' productivity. That alone is enough to fight. Let's assume it's a debate. It's enough to convince them. Every organization wants their staff to be productive. That is when they can earn more. That is when the company can grow. So you have just stated your point. Now, the R there stands for reason. Now you want to give the reason why an employee will be more productive when they work from home. All right. So the next statement will be about giving reasons. Now, for reasons, you can decide to give 2 reasons, 3 reasons, even 1 reason. Remember, a single strong idea is enough for any impromptu speech. Like the same public speaking, it is not about how much, but how well. Simple and short. There's something called KISS. Keep it simple and short. KISS. Keeping it simple and short is enough in public speaking. So you want to go to the reason. 1 reason is enough. But of course, if you can give 2 reasons, 3 reasons, go ahead and do so. So what reason would you give that when employees work from home, they can become more productive? So you can talk about this giving them enough time for flexibility. You can talk about this making them to always be active. It reduces fatigue and tiredness. That then depends on you. Give reason. Remember, P stands for point. What is that main point, that one point that you want to stand on throughout your argument or throughout your speech? That is the first thing you want to state. The second is reason. What reason are you given? Now, the third is E, which is example. Now, your example can be in form of a personal story. Remember storytelling? We had a session on storytelling as well. So please watch the lessons in the course area if you have not. It's important. E stands for examples. So it could be your personal stories, it could be statistic, it could be anecdotes, just something to prove your point. But I would always recommend personal stories. Personal stories sell better. If you do not have personal stories, you can use anecdotes. You could use fiction and non-fiction stories. It could be a cartoon, it could be something you watched on the TV, it could be something you learned or see happen to someone, your neighbor, your colleague. Just share a story. That can be, excuse me. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me, please. It seems it's shaking. So that can be in form of story. Give us your main point. That is P, point. R means reason. Why should we consider your main point? And E is example. Use stories for your examples. And then the last P is the point. You want to restate your main point again. You want to summarize everything you've said by restating your main point. Now, when I mean you want to restate your main point, you don't have to say it word for word as you did at the beginning. You could use another word. So it could be something like, therefore, I would support that the organization consider that we start to work from home on some days. You have already given them reasons why they should allow you. And you have made examples. Now, you don't want to make an example that will just talk about the reason again. You want to give a story. The example should be in the form of a story. Now, your story should start with a problem, just like you were taught in the storytelling lesson, a problem. So a company did this. What is the problem they're trying to solve? How did it go? Were they able to solve it? So your organization can have an idea of what would happen. Okay, if you allow them to start working from home. So this is what would happen. Some people will be able to rest well. Some people would have better health. And then their brain can be more active and they can think on their toes and do better. Paint a story. Remember, do not say a story. Paint it, turn it into a movie where they can see the result. The result is very important. If you leave out the result, then you won't be able to convince them. So make sure your example deals with storytelling, paint a story, and then go back to that point. Go back to repeating your main point, prep. Now, the second method I'll share tonight is the APE method. APE, the APE method. Now, this method is great when you need to provide in-depth response to a question. Prep can work for anything, whether it's a question or an argument, or you're trying to share your idea on a topic. Prep would work always. Now, APE works better when you're trying to give in-depth answer to a question. Now, the A in APE stands for answer. Answer. You want to directly answer the question or the prompt you're given by asking the question first and then answering it. Just like the question I asked earlier. If you were the president, what would you do better? So I'll start like this. If I was the president, what will I do better? I will, of no doubt, focus more on education. You might have heard me say that I wish to become the Minister of Education. That should tell you how much I believe in education. And not just education now, education and exposure. I just answered that question. If you take this back to prep, that is your point, just 1 point. If I was supposed to use the prep method for this same question, I'm going to say the same thing. Maybe not using the same words, the same word arrangement, but my answer will still remain education. And not just education, and exposure. I got in an argument with someone, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about which is most important, education or exposure. Let me ask you, okay, I think that's what we'll debate on this evening. No, this is not a debate class. I'd have loved us to have that conversation. Let's just quickly have that conversation in the chat. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. Let's quickly have that conversation. Impromptu speech. Let's use that to practice our prep method. Okay, Afama, thank you. So you can use the prep method, or you can use any method you're used to already. Please unmute yourself, ma'am. Education and exposure, which is more important? Education or exposure? Which of them?
I strongly believe that education is more important than exposure, because when you are educated, you're already exposed. But someone can be exposed without being educated. Thank you.
Well done, Afama. So Afama was able to use the point and the reason. She gave us a point and she gave us the reason. Now I want you to take it a step further, so and use an example. Do you know anyone around you? Have you read any story? Or maybe you yourself that you could use as an example? And then the last P, repeat your main point. That shows that you have a well-structured speech.
Okay, can I go
Yes,
ahead?
ma'am. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, it's a story that happened some time ago. I used to have a lecturer that talks to us in the university, and we met him on a program, and in the same program, we saw a friend of ours and a celebrity that people knows. So when time came for them to speak, the other man spoke well. He narrated a lot of stories. He taught, and finally, he got exposed. So I think that education will help you to be more exposed. When the time came for the other man to speak, he couldn't express himself very well, despite his level of exposure. Thank you.
That is your example. You still didn't go back to the main point. So your conclusion now. Before thank you, you need to conclude. That is by revisiting the point. Remember the last P in the prep framework.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I strongly believe that education does the two work. It can help you to get the knowledge and also help you to get the exposure needed.
Good one, Afama. Thank you very much. Now, that just helped her to be able to share her opinion and her thought using the prep method. Let's take one more person. Miracle, good evening. Please unmute. Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So the question again is education or exposure, which is more important?
I believe that education is more important because education gives you the opportunity to know things that you are not aware of aforetime. Education helps you to gain knowledge of things that you are ignorant of. For example, I formerly did not know how to speak fluently before this time. I do not know how to articulate the right words at all times. But now, by the reason of my education, through you, I'm able to, at least to some extent, articulate my words and speak fluently to some extent. So my point is that I suggest that if we are to go for either of the two, we should go for education, because through education you become exposed. Thank you.
Well, Dan, even though I can see your faces, I don't know if you're paying attention to your body language, your gesture, your smile, but that's a good one. You're able to use the prep method conveniently. And of course, I love your pace as well. And yes, you did articulate most of your words correctly. Keep it a miracle. So let's proceed. So this method, if I were you, all I have to do is put this somewhere in my head. I want to know it offhand. Prep, my point, the reason why I chose that point, example, preferably personal stories. Do not just say your story. Turn it into a movie. Paint it. And lastly, return. State your point again to help us remember where we're coming from. So that if for any reason we would forget every other thing you've said, we will remember that point. Very important. Now, I was talking about the APE method. I said the A stands for answer. You want to directly answer the question. First, by repeating the question for clarity purpose to also save time, and then you launch into stating your answer. The P stands for prove. You want to give evidence. We could say that you want to use a story to back up your answer. So I just gave my answer that, what was it again? If I were the president, what would I do differently? I said I would focus on education and, of course, exposure. So I want to prove it. I want to back up my answer with a proof. So I would go by sharing a story. It could be my personal story. It could be a story I've read in the storybook. It could be something I've watched in a movie. It could just be anything. But like I said, I always recommend personal stories. So my story could be around my personal story. So let me just share a story to support my answer. As a communication coach, every day I read queries, questions, complaints from people around what it is costing them by not being able to speak well. I believe strongly that through education, you're not just taught how to read and write, you're also taught how to speak. Obviously, in a system where we do not have the best education system, many times, even when you go through education, you still find yourself not being able to speak. Now, when such happened, you're expected to seek more education by attending classes that could help you speak better. Now, I've realized that these people that have spent years in the educational classroom, the four walls of the classroom, and are not being able to speak, the moment they realize that this is a challenge and they get into another speaking program that can help them speak better, the knowledge they have got from the four walls of the classroom helps to support what they are learning in the speaking class, and that aids their transformation. Rich Inform says that education is important, but the reason why they were not able to speak well from the four walls of the classroom that perhaps took them 18 years, 9 years, 6 years is because they were not exposed to practical steps. Now, them enrolling on a communication class has helped them to not just learn as they did in the four walls of the classroom, but has helped them learn and being exposed to real life situations that helps them practice. I have just proved, right? And then the last is expand. I want to broaden your focus on my answer. So that reminds me of lots of feedback that I then get after they had complained at the beginning of the class, and then they have enrolled in the class, and they have been able to use the knowledge from the four walls of the classroom to the practical exposure that they get in our course or in our program to help them practice. By the time they add or multiply these together, the transformation is always satisfactory. The APE method. What did I do? A, I answered education and exposure. Second, I had to prove it. Why do I think it is? I proved that, yes, a lot of people went to school to not just learn to read and write, but to speak. But most times they end up not being able to speak well. Why? Because something is missing. They were educated, but they were not exposed. The English teachers tried. All other subject teachers tried as well by speaking English to them. But a lot of times, I remember when I was in secondary school, I didn't pay attention to phonetics at all. I was taught, but I didn't pay attention because I thought it's of no use. Because even the person teaching us didn't give me reasons why I should listen to it. I felt like, no, I don't want to speak like someone else. I love how I speak since every other person can understand me. Some of us attended grammar classes, yet we didn't pay much attention because the reason, the exposure, we're not exposed enough to know how much that will cost us if we didn't pay attention. So I proved it through the learnings and the four corners of the classroom. Some of us, we went from nursery to university. For some people, that's about 18 years, for some less. And then all of these years, whether 18 years or less, or it's even up to 18 years, I'm not sure, but I did state 18 years. All of this still did not help us to speak better until we started to enroll on other personal development classes around communication. And this did not just learn, or this did not just teach us, it also exposed us. So when education and exposure, when they meet, the transformation is out of this world. And lastly, I was able to expand my proof by using an example of people that have enrolled in our course, the feedback that they give after enrolling on the course, the APE method. So these two methods can be used anytime, though the APE method works better when you're answering a question. If you ask me, I love the prep method a lot. I use it every now and then. Give me a topic, and the first thing that I want to work on getting is my point. What point do I want to prove? Then the R, reason. Why did I choose this point? And then my E, example, using a story. It could be any story. Fiction, non-fiction, feel free. And then lastly, I want to repeat my point again. It helps my listener to not miss the point. Or you could use the APE method. You want to answer the question? Remember to repeat the question before you answer it. Just like during a spelling bee or a debate. Then the P, prove. You want to give us proof. This is the opportunity for storytelling again. You want to give examples. And the E, you want to expand. You want to expatiate your answer. Do we have questions about these two frameworks? Now let's go practical. Before then, do you have questions about these frameworks? Questions about these frameworks? Any question? Okay, Taiwo, I see your thumbs up as well. Any question? Let's go practical. Now, to go practical, we will be doing different things. I will be giving you random word. We call this game random word challenge. This is how it is being played. Someone will just give you random words, any word at all, flower, classroom, sleep, any word at all, health. Your job is to speak for 60 seconds on that topic using any of these frameworks. We're going to be trying about 3 challenges tonight. These are challenges that I use for those in my private coaching program. So I would just come up with any random word. I give it to you and ask you to use a particular method to talk on that word for 60 seconds. Ladies, here you're raising your hand. Is it that you have a question or you want to take part in this first challenge? Ladies, do you have a question before I proceed? Okay, ma'am, please, I didn't get the full meaning of prep. P stands for point. R stands for reason. E stands for example. And the last P stands for point again. So we have point, reason, example, point. Point, reason, example, point. That answers your question, Mariam, as well. Okay, so if you'd like to take part in the first challenge, I'll give you any word at all, and you speak about that word for 60 seconds using the prep method. If you'd like to take part, please raise your hand. I need just 2 people, the first 2 people to raise their hands. I'll give random words, just a word. Then it's left to you to pick a topic around that word. So let's assume I give you the word chair. So it's left to you to bring up a topic around it. Maybe the reasons I detest sitting on a chair. Why banks should provide more chairs in the banking hall. I believe having chairs at the bus station or train station would help improve our health. Just come up with any topic yourself. My own duty is to give you a word, a random word, and then you speak on that topic, any topic you come up with for 60 seconds. Nobody's ready? Nobody's raising their hands? Are we scared? Remember, it is about practicing. Learning public speaking without practicing it is waste of time. Yes, Oli Pumping, thank you. 8 is answer proof, not prove. Proof. You want to prove, give us a proof. And then you want to expand, you want to expatiate. Okay, Miracle, I wouldn't call Miracle again. You had said something earlier, but if I don't have any other person, I'd have to call you. Okay, Deborah, good evening. Deborah, please unmute. If you're in a place where you can show your face, please do, so that I can pay attention to your use of body language, eye contact, and all as well. But if you're not in that space, it's fine. Just make sure that you pay attention to your body language, gesture, and all. Deborah, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll give you a word, and you just come up with a topic and talk about that topic. You talk on that topic. You speak on that topic, excuse me, for 60 seconds, 60 seconds, using the prep method. Remember the prep method again. Give us a point, reason, example, and restate your point again. So I'm going to give you a topic on, my word will be justice. Justice. Justice.
Okay. Justice. To bring justice. Justice. My goodness. Justice. I don't know. Just shut the word.
What did you say, ma'am?
Ma'am, can you find another topic? I'm short of word on justice.
Okay, I should give you another topic. Okay, let me give you a topic around childhood. Childhood.
Okay. Childhood.
Yes,
the point on my childhood is a lot of people have challenges while they are in their childhood. Some, they don't know the difference between wrong and right from their childhood. Reason is that they are not old enough to choose for themselves. They are not old enough to choose for themselves because they didn't have that wisdom to choose for themselves. For example, when I'm at childhood, I don't know right from left. What I know is that when my mother says, go this way, I went. So, and I did not know right from my left. So until my mother told me that this is how they do things, this is how you do it, this is how you take your bath, this is how you eat your breakfast. So with this point of mine, I hope I'm able to talk about childhood. That when you are a child, you don't know your right from your left, except they direct you to the path to follow. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Your timing is okay. I'll give you that. Your conclusion? No, I do not recommend you say, I have been able to convince you and not confuse you, except it's a debate. And even for debate, there are better ways to go about it. Also, you want to pay attention to your use of grammar. But then let's focus on public speaking right now. So you do not have to say, my point on the topic is no. You are the one that should know in your mind that this is the method I'm using. You don't have to tell your audience that I want to use the prep method. So my point is this, the reason is this, the example is this, and then my point again is this. They might not even know what the prep method is. So you do not have to tell us. It's a framework. It's just something like a template to follow. It's just like when we are singing, you don't tell us it's do re mi that you want to sing. You just sing the song. Those that have music knowledge can then tell that, okay, this guy or this woman is using this key and not that key, etc. So you do not have to say my point on the topic is no. Also, you didn't state your topic. Remember, I gave you a word to talk about. You're supposed to create a topic around it. So first, you're expected to start with your topic. So my topic is the challenges of childhood. My topic is how our childhood can tell who we are, how childhood can influence our adulthood, etc. Just pick any topic that works. Once you get your topic, that is what helps you. That is what guides you to be able to get a point. But when you have a broad topic, most times it's difficult to get a point. So you need to narrow down. Childhood is broad. You need to narrow down by getting a topic that you can play around, that you can work around. And remember, do not be in the rush to launch in. Take a pause. The topic that came to mind, do I have a point for it? Once you have a point for it, it's easy for you to give us reason, to give examples, and to restate your point again. So I have one more person to try that same topic on childhood. Vivian, good evening. Please unmute. And I hope you do better, Vivian. Remember, get a topic first before anything. Good evening, Vivian.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So
I'll
the word
start.
again is childhood.
Okay, I would like to talk on the import and the necessity on childhood experience. In childhood is an experience everyone encountered that teaches you how to begin your life, how maybe you narrate, you mingle with people, the culture, and so on and so forth. Then, for instance, I remember when I was small, at that time, I don't know how to talk rightly, how to pronounce my R. My mom usually used to tell me, do your tongue like this, do your tongue like that. And you keep in my own continuous practicing. I know I might not learn the way they taught me, but at least it's a pathway to follow. Mean in the aspect that using the direction of my mother and the coaches, it brought me so where I am today. Learning more when you are a child will equally have to bring you up when you are now an adult. Thank you.
Okay, that's better, Vivian. Well done. So I'm going to take the topic and then we'll pick another. Okay, we already have 2 people, then we'll take another game. Well done, Vivian. Well done. Who was the first person? I forgot your name. Well done too. So childhood. I will be talking about childhood. My topic is the happy moments of childhood. Years back, the expression adulthood na scam was so common. And I must say, I am one of the believers. Indeed, adulthood is scam. Compared to childhood, childhood is a precious, formative time. That time in life that you're free from burden, free from responsibility. You get to explore without fear of failure. You speak the way it comes. Most times you don't get to even remember what happened the formal day. I remember growing up, I watched mothers fight because their children were fighting. Funnily, these children, these little ones, will get to forget about the fight, and the mothers are still keeping malice. They still hold grudges against each other. It was such a mixed feeling for me. It was fun for the children, but a lot of challenges for the mothers. An example is a woman in my house, Mama Daniel. Then my parents were living in a face me and slap you house. If you're in Nigeria, you know what that means. Mama Daniel is a very neat and proper woman. Funnily, the building has 5 rooms. 1 room and parlor, a room, and 3 other rooms. So it has 5 rooms. Now, towards the end of the building, there are 2 entrances. There is 1 entrance by the right. Is my video on? Please, I need to on my video so you can see There is 1 video at the right. There is 1 opening, at the right. There is another opening at the left. Now, the opening at the right is facing the room and parlor. Now, the other opening at the left, it's facing Mama Daniel's room. Now, immediately after Mama Daniel's room, we have the kitchen, the general kitchen for everyone, the bathroom, and the toilet. Now, the bathroom and the toilet are usually washed 3 times a week. Now, Mama Daniel is so prim and proper that every day she mops her room and her corridor. So a corridor would lead from a room to that other door, that other general entrance, such that in the afternoon she can sleep there. Children, she had 3 children at the time, can crawl, they can play, etc. Now, anytime Mama Daniel is mopping, you dare not, even as an adult, you dare not use your flip-flop on the walkway. You have to perhaps put down your flip-flop there, work on where she has mopped with your flip-flop with you, walk there if you're going to the kitchen or you're going to the bathroom. Or you leave your flip-flop there, you go there and you return. Was that serious? Now, Mama Daniel is also one of those in the neighborhood that would never allow her children to play with other children that are not neat and do not speak English. So in the vicinity, Mama Daniel and my family used to be the best when it comes to children playing with each other. She would not allow her children to play with any other child in the compound, or even outside the compound. But one thing that I do not like about that relationship between Mama Daniel and our family is that fight among mothers. I'm the first child of my family. So I had the opportunity to be the first mother to a third and fourth born in the family. So I can remember vividly for the third born because that was after my secondary school, trying to get into the university. So I had so much time. So then she was caring for her last child named Blessing, and my mom was caring for our third born named Olamiji, a boy and a girl. They were of the same age, so they play a lot, dance a lot, do things a lot. But the moment, fortunately, Blessing is hyperactive. As a boy, he loves to play rough and all. Olamiji, my sister, a girl, hates it when the play is becoming too rough. You see her run inside or cry. So there was a particular day, Blessing and Olamiji were playing as children, of course, and I heard that scream from Olamiji. I ran outside. You would think I was the mother. I could remember then. People around would ask, are you the one who gave birth to this child? I would say, yes, 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 yes. I ran out because my mom wasn't around that particular day. I ran out to see what happened to my sister. And I met my sister all sitting down on the floor, of course, on a mopped walkway, because that's the routine for Mama Daniel every day. Even when she's on the sick bed, she would make sure she does that. I met her sitting there with a biscuit all messed up and crying profusely. I was so angry because that isn't the first day. I went towards Blessing and I hit Blessing on his palm, I think 3 times. Unfortunately, the mother was there. You know, if you live in a face-man face, there's always this net door where the down has wood, the up has a net where you can see through. I didn't know she was watching all the while. Immediately, I hit Blessing without Blessing crying. She came outside and gave me 2 resounding slaps. I can never forget that. My father came. In my family then, my father would always be the first to return from work. My father came, met me sobbing. I explained what happened. And the first thing my father did was to call the policeman. Anything that happened during childhood, the first thing my dad would say is, if you're not careful, I would arrest you. My dad loved to threaten people with police. Even when people call me Lepa. My father would go and say, if you call her Lepa again and she feels bad, I'll call the police. So that day I thought it was a joke. My dad did call the policeman. He had this police friend. And the policeman said, thank God for that man. If you take this to the police station, you're just going to spend money for no reason. The worst situation is don't let your child play with him again. And that was the last time Olamiji played with Blessing, except when I'm not there or when my parents are not there. It got so bad that I didn't greet Mama Blessing or Mama Daniel. Daniel was the first son for God knows when, until we left that community. Now, that was years back. I should be about 15, 16 years then. I didn't know better. But now I do know better. Even though I'm not in an environment where there are lots of people to play with my child, that is one of my concerns, because I understand that when children are amongst other children, their development is faster. But then, anytime I remember that scenario, I still see how bad it is for adults to keep grudges, even when these children in their childhood do not really care, except for that moment, what really happened. So indeed, adulthood has come. Childhood is that precious moment, that formative moment, that responsibility-less, if there's a word like that. Of course, there's not. Moment where children have no burden, no sadness, what they feel is happiness, where they have that ability to explore and just be who they are. Thank you. What did I do? My point, I started by saying adulthood na scam. I used the general expression that maybe everybody's used to. And I stated my point that yes, adulthood na scam, but childhood is that precious moment, burdenless moment. Then I gave my reason. One of the reasons is because I gave one reason, right? The reason I gave is because during childhood, you didn't have any problem. Even when you and another child, when you have issues, it is just that moment. The next moment you see them play together. And then I give an example, a personal story of what happened years ago. And then I repeated my statement, point again. Remember, you expected to talk for 60 seconds. I want to believe I spoke for more than 60 seconds. So if I did, that is a no-no already. In impromptu speeches, especially when they give you time, try to keep to time. If for any reason you're not going to keep to time, you can talk more than for, let's say, extra 3 to 5 seconds. Anything outside that, it's a no-no. So I'm going to clap myself. Okay, so now let's take another challenge. Let's take another challenge. I can see some chats. Let me go through those chats and see. Good evening. What is going on here? I didn't get any information about the class. This class has been set since 2 weeks ago. It was supposed to be held last Thursday, but I missed it, and a message was sent that it will be held this Thursday. Sorry about that, Doris. Mariam says, I remember spending hours playing outside with my friends, making up games. Summer holidays were the best part of childhood, filled with fun and freedom. I enjoyed spending time with my family and grandma. I always felt safe and don't wish to go back every other day. It's a special place to be. I wish I had a grandma that I used to visit then. I never had. But I'd love to participate. Please hope there will be replay, ma'am. Ongoing convention. Oh, sorry about that. Oluwabumi. Ma'am, let me give it a try, please. Okay, we have another word. So let's not just stay stuck here. There are about 3 or 4 games we'll be playing together. This is one. So let's go to the next one. So this one is named Word Challenge. So in case you want to do it with your maybe students or children at home, feel free. Please, if you're a parent here, please do not joke with your children's public speaking skill. I listened to a story this afternoon and I was weeping. Please do not joke with their public speaking skills. Even when you take them to a school where they do not really pay attention to it, please try and do that yourself at home. As little as taking them out and letting them place their order themselves. You know, there's some children, the moment they go out to a fancy place, you see them being cold. They are not free again. Take them out. This will not cost you a lot. You can buy what you can afford. You don't have to buy a big turkey or a big chicken. It can be ice cream of 2,500 naira. Just take them out. Do these at least 3 times a year. If you have more resources and more time, please do it as often as possible. Please build their conversational and public speaking skills. I cannot overemphasize this. Please, if you're a parent here, do not joke with it. Don't wait for schools. In church, let them take up challenges if you're a Christian. In works, let them take up challenges. Let them lead. These little things help them. Even at home, let them lead prayer sessions. If you do read aloud sessions, let them read out sometimes and be in charge. It helps them. Please, do not joke with this. Take them out, let them place their order themselves. Take them to the bank, let them deposit as little as 1,000. Let them deposit it. Let them experience things. Do not wait for school excursion and all. Even if it means, I think it was last year, one of these airlines, they did a promo where you could travel, was it last year or 2 years ago, on Instagram, where you could travel to some states in Nigeria with, I think it was 9,000 naira. I can't remember that promo, and I can't remember the airline that did it. It was on Instagram. It was my sister that saw it. The moment she sent that link for me, I paid for all of my sisters, the 2 of them. You know what then happened? I paid, I think it was 9,000 naira to go from Benin to go from Lagos to Ibadan, Benin, Port Harcourt. I think it was like three states. So I paid for 2 of my sisters. They went to Benin, and I bought movie tickets for them. So the 9,000, I'm not sure if it was 9,000 naira we paid. I'm not sure of the amount. The money we paid was supposed to take them and return. It was supposed to be arrival and departure, go to and fro, how do they call it? Unfortunately, my sisters went to the movie and they forgot themselves. They went to Benin. We didn't even tell my mom, because if we told my mom would not allow. My mom is that overprotective mother. She doesn't want you to leave the house. She just wants to be seeing you every time. That is who my mother is. So we didn't even tell her. 2 sisters, imagine. They went. They missed their flight. I had to pay the equivalent of what it was for them to get back, because I cannot afford for them to sleep in an hotel. They've never slept in one. And this is a 22-year-old and maybe a 13-year-old. I didn't tell my parents. It was so scary. I had to pay more. But what did that teach them? Now, when people are talking about aeroplane, they can talk about it, even though they got it as a lesser fee, because I would not have been able to afford the exact fee. Right? In Lagos, yes, we go to movies, but now they are going out on their own. Please expose your children. You don't have to go as far as I did. Right? But at least those little things, let them lead, let them take positions, give them tasks outside home, let them go for excursions in a safe place if you know it's safe. So let's get back to this. So the second practice session we'd have today is what I call the picture prompt. So I'm going to show a picture now, and I would give you 30 seconds to look at the picture, and then you pick the APE method to talk. You talk about that picture using the APE method for 90 seconds. If you'd like to go through this, raise your hand. And for now, I won't call you now because you have done one. Blessing, have you done any this evening? I'll have to call those that have not. So I'm going to show a picture. You study that picture for 60 seconds. You can come up with a topic or question that you want to ask and talk about it using the APE method for 90 seconds. You can do this with your children. Now it's holiday. You can just come up with any word. Tell them to just talk about it. It could be a Bible story. It could be anything. Let them talk about it. You could watch a movie and have them summarize, or ask a question around it that would help them think, or have them read. Tell them to summarize. All of these would help their skills. Okay, so let me get the picture. If you'd like to participate in this, please raise your hand. I need you to raise your hand before I show the picture. I want to make sure you can only see the picture for like 60 seconds. If you'd like to participate in this, please raise your hand. If you'd like to participate, okay, Sylvia. I've seen Sylvia's hand. So here is the picture, Sylvia. Let me zoom in. So I want you to go through this picture, Sylvia. Study the picture for 60 seconds. You can unmute yourself. Come up with a topic or a title. And then talk about this for 90 seconds. Sylvia, please unmute. Sylvia, are you there? Sylvia, please unmute. Good evening, Sylvia.
Yeah, good evening. Please, can someone else pick it up?
No. Why are you running away? What happened?
I
What did you say, ma'am?
I said I didn't join earlier.
You don't have to join earlier. At least you got did you get the APE method, or was it the prep method you got? Which of them?
No.
You didn't get any?
No.
Okay?
Yes.
Though I don't like that, but what can I do? Don't always run away from public speaking. Give it a shot. Remember, this is what do they call it? We don't judge. Blessing, good evening. Please unmute. Blessing, please unmute. Good evening, Blessing.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am. Would you give this a shot?
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Would you give this a shot?
Good. Bad weather.
Okay, bad weather. So talk about it for 90 seconds using the APE method. Or you can even use the prep method, any method you're comfortable with.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Is there no one here
Okay,
that knows
ma'am.
how to read arts, that goes for art showcase and knows how to decode art? This would be
Ma'am,
good for
the picture is not really giving any much. I don't know. It's not really giving
much
any much
information.
topic.
Okay, look at the picture. Can't you see fog? It's like a dense environment. The tree there has withered, is almost dead. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the cloud? Is the cloud clear?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what can you, and then there is a pointer. There is a pointer here that says, a sign that says, whither wilt thou wander? It's a question. Whither wilt thou wander? So what do you think? What can you come up with in all of this? There's no wrong or right answer. That's the funny thing about art. It just depends on what it means to you.
Okay.
There's the
Ma'am,
word
I'm lost. Sorry,
wandering.
ma'am.
To wander means, okay, that's fine, ma'am. You can mute yourself. To wander means to walk about aimlessly. You're wandering about. Now imagine somebody's wandering about in a position, a place like, let me give Miracle a chance. He's been wanting to say something. Good evening, sir. Good evening once again.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
you like to give this a shot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So I would like to see the topic that says trust in God.
Please speak out, sir. Your voice is low.
I would like to speak on a topic that says trust in God.
Again?
Trust in God.
Help in God. Am I correct?
Trust.
Okay, go
in
ahead. I
God.
didn't get it, but go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Trust in God.
Okay, trust in God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, I got it now.
Yes, ma'am. Why do we need to trust in God? The reason why we need to trust in God is because there are so many situations and challenges that we cannot handle on our own, that we cannot teach with ourselves. And because God is our maker, He wants to help us and He wants to guide us with His hand. So that is why we need to trust Him, because He has a higher power that we do not have. He has the capacity and the ability that we do not have. That is why we need to trust in God. Even when the cloud seems unclear and the weather seems covered with smog, we need to trust in God because He is taking us somewhere. Now, where was I doing? I was battling with what I am to do concerning my exam. I have done necessary things that I
Hello? Hello? Hello, sir? Hello? Oh, I can hear him again. Can you hear me? Can others hear me? Yes, his network is bad. Can others hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm glad that you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Mr. Miracle. I love that topic. Trust in God.
Yes.
The moment he said that topic, this reminded me of that saying that God has the power to bring forth even from a dead tree. In Yoruba, they would say that igi tó ti gbẹ di tútù, a dried tree becomes wet again. A dead tree is alive. If you look at that tree, it's almost dead, if not dead. If you look at the weather, it's not favorable. This weather shows fear. If you have this kind of weather in a situation or in a community where you don't have strong houses, strong roof, this will lead to fear. People will start to pray, God, please. God, please, don't let us sleep. Don't let us have flood. Things like that. So you can say this to wither. When something wither, it died. It dies. Fear, bad sign, negativity. Then we still have another word, wander, working aimlessly. Not even knowing where you are. Not having the right thought, just working. So this is just like you having challenges. And at the same time, having the courage to face that challenge. I don't want to talk about this. I want somebody to talk about it. And like I said, it is just like a piece of art. You can interpret it to what suits you, what it looks like to you. Lami, good evening. Please give it a shot. Good evening, Lami. Give it a shot, please. Lami, good evening.
Good evening, ma. It's been a while. How are you doing?
Yes, very well, thank you. I haven't got your feedback.
I will. I've been so busy. We moved to a new place.
Oh, congratulations. May it be a peaceful one for you.
Amen. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
You're welcome, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So for me, the picture looked like winter.
Yes.
So winter, winter, the season of cold winds, cozy nights and shorter days. For some people, they dare eat, while for others, they eagerly wait for it. For me, winter has always been a time of stillness and reflection. I remember sometimes when it's cozy, you try as much as possible to use the blanket, a cup of tea, hot cocoa in and watching your telly, so through the windows, or rather gazing at the windows. And maybe that is the gift of winter for all of us, because it shows us the down and encourages us that nature has its own place. Thank you.
You know, at the beginning, it sounded like a poem. Yes, it sounded so much like a poem. Thank you very much. I think you love art. At the beginning, it sounded so much like a poem, and I was enjoying the rhythm. Then I reminded myself that it's a public speaking class. Well done, Lami. I love that. Yes, that's another view. Winter. And everything she has said is true. Your cup of cocoa, your blanket, a cozy environment. It's a time for some people to reflect. That is very true. The calmness of the environment alone gives you that ability to reflect. Now let's go to the last challenge. I did not want us to spend too long here tonight. So I want us to leave here at exactly 10. And it's almost 10 p.m. already. So thank you. Even though a lot of people were scared to give this a shot, Like I said, do it afraid, do it scared. Use that fear, turn it into fuel to do it. And this is a safe space. If you don't do it rightly, we would not laugh at you, we would only correct you. But when you don't do it at all, you would not even know whether you would do it rightly or you would not. Now, the last game that I have tonight is what we call the unexpected question. So the way you can do this at home is during casual conversation with your children, maybe when you're cooking or doing something together, just suddenly ask them a question that they are not expecting, a question that would allow them think. It could be any question at all. Just make sure that the question is a question that would let them think. That will let them think. That will let them think. What are you doing? Aside from the fact that you're working on their public speaking skills, you're also helping them with their critical thinking skills, which is also a skill that they would need in the labor market when they get outside there. So if you'd like to participate in this last drill, please raise your hand. How many are we? We have about, how many are we tonight? Almost 40. And just less than 10 people have raised their hands. What's happening? Are we so scared of public speaking? I already gave you something to use, a simple tool, prep. Just have a point. Why are you hanging on that point? Give us reason. Then give examples and state your point again. Or you use the 8 method. Give us answers. Then prove it and expatiate. Blessing says, wow, Chai, ma'am, I want to be like, how do I build my reasoning and creative thoughts? It's by doing over and over again. When you do it over and over again, you will be like her. I guess you're talking about Lamy, right? When you do it over and over again, you will be like her. Do it over and over again. Expose yourself to different genre of I don't want to say literature now, because if I say literature, you might think I'm talking about drama, poetry, and all. Read a lot. Motivational books, self-help books, Bible, Quran. Just keep reading, watch movies, be exposed. Remember when we talked about being confident, being able to command any room? It starts from having content. When you don't have content, how would you even want to be able to speak out creatively? You must have content. Expose yourself, go out. I read a post sometimes on Facebook years ago. It says that a lot of us, we pray that we want to travel outside Nigeria. But even our immediate environment, we have not explored enough. Not to talk of going outside Nigeria. There are lots of places in Nigeria that can open your head, open your thoughts. It's not just about going to restaurants every other time. Picnics, going to nature, places where we have nature, the beach, not just going there to dance and shout, just for sober reflect. So let's say we have been raising a hand. I can't see any hand. To raise your hand, click on the raise hand button, and I'll see your hand. The only hand I can see right now is Afoma hand. Benedict, you're not getting how to raise hand. That's why. And I think that was what you did in the Diction Master Academy on Saturday, that I couldn't see your hands. This is not the way to raise your hand. Look below your screen. You're going to see reaction. Click on reaction. You will see raise hand. You'll see a hand raised like this. Click on it. Okay, Samuel is now raising his hand. He said, "Man, looking at the picture, I have suitable topics for it, but to expatiate is my challenge. Use the prompt. You have a topic. What is your topic? Only pumping. Please type it in and let's work on expatiating it together. To expatiate, use the prep method or the 8 method. You have a topic already. So what is your main point? In that topic, what is the first point that came to mind? Create your main point. You can outline it like TM Tosin taught you. Once you have a point, the next thing is reason. Why did you choose that point? Give us a reason. Then example. Let me give examples of how we use blankets, how we drink tea. But she forgot to mention how we cuddle ourselves. I run under the arm of your husband or your wife. She forgot to say how we wear double sweat tops for our children, and even maybe a pair of socks. And maybe hand gloves when they're even inside. example. You can use a story. Then go back to that point again. It's very easy to expatiate. And that's not the spelling of expatiate. Okay, Blessing said, I want to be like you, the diction queen. Thank you. Ma'am, please let me talk. Benedict, raise your hand. Did you get how to raise your hand now, Benedict? Benedict, you need to know how to raise your hand. Look at the screen. Below your screen, on your phone or your laptop, look for reactions or raise hand. Click on it. Your hand will show that you're raising. Benedict says, how will you assist me on my speaking? That's what I'm doing here. Which area of speaking are you finding difficult? Other people says, lonely and wandering around nature. Okay. Lonely and wandering around nature. So what is your point? So what is the first thing that came to mind? Why are you lonely? Why are you wandering around nature? Or maybe you've seen somebody that was wandering or lonely around nature. What usually causes it? So give us a point. Oli Pompey, I'm waiting. Just create any point that comes to mind. Remember, there is no wrong or right answer. The more you do it, the better you become. So if I were you, Oli Pompey, every day I will pick a topic and write about it every day. I can even record myself and send it to the public speaking assignment group. A lot of us are not in the assignment group. A lot of us are not in the assignment public speaking group, and I think that's why we're missing out on information. Only pumping, I'm waiting. You already have a topic. So what is the point? Any point that comes to your mind. It could be you answering the question, why will someone be lonely and wandering around nature? It could be the advantages of you wandering around nature when you're lonely. It could be what causes it. It could be the effect. It could be the result. When you're wandering around nature, when you're lonely, what is the result? How do you feel afterwards? Come up with any point at all. Yes, thank you, Olimpombi. That's the question. Busai says, dry bones will live again. Yes, that was what I said earlier. I think it's in the Bible, somewhere in the Bible. So, Busayo, what is your point? Dry bones will live again. Your point could be quoting the Bible. I don't know the quote, but I know my husband has read it to me some time ago. You know, I'm a Muslim and I married a Christian, so it's really difficult doing the, what do they call it? It's even, it should also be in the Quran, but I don't know where it is. But in Yoruba, I've heard people say it a lot. They use it as a prayer point. Dry bones will live again. So what point? What is that thing you can remember? Create a point. Can you give me an assignment about it? You're being lazy, Oli Pumping. You're being lazy. That's laziness. All this while you could have come up with 3-4 points. You're being lazy. The moment you keep postponing, then you might not even attend to it at all. The moment you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, you might never do it. You know, funnily, I've been working on a program for children for over 2 years, and I've still not finished. You know why? I'll keep telling myself, I'll do it tomorrow. Since maternity, I revisited it, and the admins have been helping me. Was it on Monday? They told me they are done. They are done with all the tasks I gave them. So I need to do more so they can produce more. But since Monday, I've been telling myself, I'll do it. But this week, I've been really tired. My bones are really aching. So I've not been able to do it. I've been postponing it. And my husband will say, the more you postpone something, the high chances of you not doing it again. Hard times doesn't last long. Thank you for that point, Busayo. Now give us a reason. What is that reason why you feel hard times does not last long? After you reason them, then give us a story. Have you ever been in a hard time? Did it last long? Have you ever seen anyone being in a hard time that it lasted longer? Share a story. You could pick a story from the Bible. You could pick real life stories. You can pick your personal stories and then go back to your point again. That of course, indeed, hard times doesn't last long. No matter how long it lasts, it will come to an end. Like they say, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Busaya, I'm waiting for your reason and your example. Ogundimi says, cloudy weather affecting the sickler. Yes, that's your topic, I believe. So now give us a point, the reason why you chose that point, and an example. Wonders of nature. Thank you, Chidok. Give us a point. Only pumping, you're better in writing. Then put it to writing, and then speak live to it. Put it to writing. After you're putting it, you have written it. Pick your phone and record yourself saying it. You can cram it and say it. But I do not recommend cramming. That is a bad method. The best method I recommend is read what you're reading over and over again until it becomes a part of you. Once you assimilate it, once you soak it in, you can then say it out in your own words. You don't have to say it in the same way you wrote it down. Say it out in your own words, the way you have understood it. Write it out. Read it to yourself over and over and over again. Understand it. Understand it so well that when it's time to speak it, you can speak it out using your own words. The first time you try it, you might be speaking rubbish. You might be talking rubbish. The second time, you might be talking rubbish. The third time, you might be talking rubbish. Keep at it. Keep at it. Keep doing it every day, or maybe once a week. It depends on your schedule. Keep at it. Keep at it. The more you do it, I can assure you, if you stay committed to it, even if it is once a week, in another 1 month, you will be better from where you started. Now let's go to the last drill. Like I said, I want us to leave it at exactly 10 p.m. This is almost 10 p.m. The last drill, who is ready for that? We're just going to pick any topic. Okay, I have Sammy. Sammy's already raising his hand. I'll call on Sammy. So I'm going to give you any topic to talk about. So the topic I'm going to pick on is, what is the one skill you think everybody should learn? Sammy, please unmute. You're talking on the topic. What is the one skill you think everybody should learn? You can use any of the works, the APE framework or the PrEP framework, any of them. Sammy, please unmute. What is the one topic, one skill rather? What is the one skill that you think everybody should learn? Sammy, where are you? You're not here again. Okay, let me call Oluwajenyo Oyeyinka. Oluwajenyo. I love that name. Oluwajenyo Juanwo Tamile. Oluwajenyo, good evening. Oluwajenyo, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you, Oyeyinka. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Okay, let me call on someone else. Nehisco, good evening. Nehisco, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, sir. Your topic is, yes, I can. What is the one skill that you think everyone should learn? You can use any of the frameworks.
Okay, what is the one skill I think everyone should learn? Well, I believe the key skill everyone must learn is selling. Selling, as we all know, is something we all cannot run away from, because right from childhood, everyone has the capacity to sell, and we have to sell our way through life to get whatever we want. As a kid, growing up, I realized that if I needed something from my parents, I had to give them convincing reason before they can give it to me.
Yeah.
And when we look at a lot of young children around us, you realize that sometimes when you even tell them no, they keep insisting. And before you know it, you actually give them what they want, despite the number of no's you've told them. So selling is a key skill everyone needs to learn, because you need to influence the other person to get what you want from them. So growing up as a person, I believe that anybody who is unable to learn selling as a skill will struggle through life, because they will not be able to get what they really want in life. For instance, if you're a salesperson or if you're into business, if you don't know how to market your products and convince other people reason why they need to buy from you, you'll be stuck. The same thing happens if you're an employee. You need to also know how to sell yourself to your employer before you can be employed. So generally speaking, selling is a key skill everyone must learn. And I believe if everyone masters it as a skill, they will be able to do well in life. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank God I'm able to sell. Otherwise, hey, thank you for the power of selling. I agree with you, Nehisco. Sometimes in 2018, I enrolled on a coaching program. It was a 1-year coaching program. Fortunately, my coach It's someone that will never leave you, just like I do. Even after 1 year, we still keep in touch until today anyway. And it was the one who taught me how much I need to start selling. You know, naturally, I used to feel like I don't want to be a salesperson. You know, everybody have that feeling. I think everybody, maybe not everybody. I want to be a salesperson. I don't know how to sell. People laugh at you because, of course, when in Lagos, there are lots of people that do these GNLD. What do they call them? They have this very common name. They sell drugs. They beg you to buy from them. That alone is disgusting for you not to want to sell. Or people that sell rat killer on the road. There's a way they do their selling that it sounds so annoying that nobody wants to sell because you feel like people would embarrass you. They have to beg you. They have to do all sorts. But if you learn the power of selling, thank you, Nehisco. Okay. So I'm going to call another, but I think I have more people raising their hands now because the topic is now simpler. I wanted us to participate more on this image, but since a lot of people are scared, maybe we should do this more often for the public speaking session. We need a lot. But then, okay. Let's go back to the game. So we still have about many minutes? I think 14 minutes. So let me call one more person, but I'll take another topic now. Let me think of another topic that we can talk about. Okay. The next topic we'll be talking about is what's a book that changed your perception? What is a book that you have read? Any book at all? Religious book, self-help book, motivational books. What is that one book that you have read that changed your perception about something, about anything? What is a book you have read that changed your perception about something? I'll call on, I already called on Sammy, I already called Blessing, Miracle. Okay, Billy's the only one I've not called, so I'll call Billy. Billy, good evening. So you're going to talk for 90 seconds using any of the framework we learned tonight. Prep, state your point, state your reason.
Good evening.
Give examples. Good evening, sir. And state your point again. Or you use the A.
Good evening,
Give
ma'am.
answer to my question. Good evening, sir. Prove your answer.
Good evening, ma'am.
Then you expatiate. Good evening, sir. Sorry about that. So the topic again, what is a book you have read that changed your perception? What is a book you have read that changed your perception about something? So you have 90 seconds to talk about it.
Yes, my major challenge is communication. So my father used to have a book, titled The Art of Conversation. It's all about effective communication skills. So from there, I started learning about communication, all the books, all the materials and the references I need to boost myself. And that actually led to the joining of your Diction Mastery Academy, because I could recall sorry, I'm just telling you my experiences. When I was defending my project, my fellowship project, I didn't do well. So my supervisor told me that I'm not good at diction. So the presentation was stepped down. But I later came back strongly. And I defended well. I passed. But it didn't stop there. So I actually kind of self-motivation. I wrote for Diction Mastery Academy. Though today I'm getting better, but I want to do more. So I found out that communication is the totality of who you are or what you do, your behavior, your behavioral patterns, and the ability to engage in communication.
I can't hear you again, sir. Oh, I think he's kicked out. He's not here again. Mr. Billy, are you still here? Oh, it's not. Sorry about that. I was enjoying that. I have few feedback, but let him get back before I state my feedback. Okay. Oyeyinka, are you here now? Oyeyinka, are you
now,
here
ma?
now?
Good evening, ma.
Good evening. I can hear you now.
All right, ma.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll give you another topic. And the topic will be the power of electricity. The power of electricity. The power of electricity. Use any of the frameworks. You have 90 seconds.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma.
You're
the
welcome.
power of electricity. How electricity helped my business. For someone like me that I'm into the business of small chops, I've been having issue on how to preserve my products. So I have to move from the area I was staying before to a better area where I can get good electricity, if not 24 hours, and that can help my business to run smoothly. Before, where I was staying before, I used to have, despite owning generator, I used to have some spoiled goods. So I have to look for money to stay in a better environment where there is good electricity, and which has been helping my business to go smoothly. Most times, when there is no electricity, I have to turn down some jobs. If I see the jobs is not that much, or maybe they will collect it very early in the morning, I have to turn it down. And this makes me lose a lot of customers. So now that I'm able to stay in an environment where there is good electricity, it makes my business to go smoothly and I have more profit. So this is how electricity has really helped my business.
The power of electricity. So the power of electricity to your business helps you earn more. It helps you to have a wider range of clients. But then it also requires you to move from where you were before to somewhere where you can get enough electricity. Thank you, Madam Oyeyinka. Well done. We have 7 more minutes. I think I can take one more person. Blessing, good evening. You said I haven't called you. So let me call you now. Good evening.
Good evening,
Blessing.
ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to give you a topic. The topic is social media sabotaging us? Is social media sabotaging us?
Sabotaging us.
Yes. When something sabotages you, it's just like, it's like you're shooting yourself in the leg. It's been disadvantaged.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me check the Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. For me, social media does not really has a disadvantage to us. Rather, it's people using the social media makes it look like social media is not really of advantage to people. Why am I saying it? In social media, you can still decide to learn good parts of life and still decide to see bad side of life. It all depends on what you want to see on social media or what you want to partake on social media. Going to social media, and some people can decide to post a nice content that you go there, you learn a lot and also add to your own knowledge. Why? So my summary is that social media, in fact, we learn a lot on social media. Social media add a lot of things too, and also there is disadvantage. But what I'm trying to say, it all depends on the person going there, because there is good and bad. Even in the world, there is yes or no. It now depend on you to choose the right one and say no to the wrong one, or you choose the wrong one and say no to the good ones. So social media has not really done more harm. Rather, it's people using it, making it looks like social media has done more harm than.
Thank you, Madam Blessing. Are you done? I think I can hear you again. Okay, you've muted already. Thank you, Madam Blessing. At a point, you were contradicting yourself. First, you said social media doesn't have disadvantage. Later, you said it has both advantages and disadvantages. Of course, it has both, but try not to contradict yourself as you state your argument. All right? So yes, you're correct when you said that it is not social media that is deliberating damaging us. It is the usage. Yes, it is in the usage. It is the way you use social media that determines whether it's an advantage to you, it's of advantage to you, or it's of disadvantage. Thank you, Madam Blessing. Now it's question time. We have just 3 minutes to go. It's question time. If you have questions, please ask. If you have questions, please ask. I'm sorry, I can't give you another chance, Sammy. We need to go now. If you have questions, please ask. Any question? Any question at all? Tonight we were able to learn the simple tools that can guide you during impromptu speech. For any topic you've been given, in few minutes, you can easily put together your point, your reason, your example, and your points. That is what the prep framework talks about. Or you can be able to answer your question. You can be able to give proof your answer, and of course, expatiate on it. And that is the A framework. Okay, Ali Pompey says, I promise to be active in next class. Okay, actually, the public speaking class doesn't have live sessions. This is like a bonus. Somebody requested, some people requested, and I granted it. So we might not have other live sessions, or maybe occasionally, but it doesn't have live session. It's more about you going through the lessons, and then each lesson has assignment. Submit your assignment to get feedback. Okay, who again? How do we join the assignment group? The link to join is in the group. Which of the groups are you, Oyeyinka? Your name is kind of really new to me, Oyeyinka. Which of the groups are you, ma'am? The assignment group link is supposed to be in the welcome address. For every group, there's a welcome address. You're supposed to have the assignment group link there. I'm surprised at this pronunciation, curvaceous. Is it really surprising? Okay, maybe curvaceous, okay? But you haven't attended to my assignments. Where did you submit them? Is it public speaking assignment or which assignment, Sylvia? Each group, each program has its assignment group. So which of the assignments are you referring to, Sylvia? I have attended to all public speaking assignments according to my knowledge. I don't think there's any public speaking assignment that has not been attended to. The only assignment that we had issues attending to them is the grammar assignment, and that is because the person in charge isn't available at the moment. But we got someone yesterday, and he started working on it yesterday. So I believe everyone's assignment will be attended to progressively. I'll promise, ma'am, please do more of this. It will really help us to improve. 4-week public speaking group. Okay, I'll look at that group, Madam Oyeyinka, and send necessary information there. Grammar, I just explained now, Sylvia would do that. Just give us time. He has already started yesterday, so with time, it would be able to attend to everyone's assignment. Please resend the link again. Which of the link, Gina cries? Which link are you requesting? Okay, Madam Oyinka, I'll send appropriate information to that group. Thank you very much. Do we have any other question? It's 9 p.m. I need to go now. Is it 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.? 10 p.m. Some of us have not even started with the public speaking class. What happened? Anyway, it's a lifetime access program. So once you're available, please start. How do I improve on informal conversation? Okay, the first thing about conversation is being a good listener. In any conversation, do not be in a hurry to state your input. Listen. Listen. Understand the conversation. Now, what a lot of people do is they listen for feedback. They don't listen for understanding. They listen just to know what to say. That's not a good strategy. Listen to understand. It is when you understand that your response would come out effortlessly. It is when you understand what they're saying that you can know how to reply. So the first thing is to improve your listening skill. Now, the second is once you have understood what they're saying and it's time to reply or to join the conversation, you can start with different methods. You can start with humor, say something that will make them laugh. It depends on the conversation. You can start by stating a fact. It depends on the conversation. You can start with an example, with a story. It could be just a response. Now, the moment to do that, the next thing is how to keep up with the conversation, how to keep the conversation going. Remember, you don't just want to say one thing and you keep quiet for another 10, 15 seconds. You have to be able to keep up with the conversation. The simplest way to keep up with the conversation is by giving feedback as you listen, by saying something like, yes, that's true. You're right. I agree with you. You're keeping up with the conversation without saying too much. Now, with time, you can then build on content. How to build on content is to know a lot of things. Know so much. You don't have to know so much about everything. Just know something about everything. So let's assume they're talking about football. Know one or two things about it. Let's assume they're talking about lubricants. Know something about it. They're talking about a car. They're talking about family. They're talking about marriage, about religion, about the economy. Just know something. You don't have to know so much. Just something. I hope that answers your question, Billy. May God bless you always. You really want us to grow. Yes, that's my mantra. I remember when I used to write content on social media. At the end of every content I write, Olubukola RB Agbalaya, the diction queen. I love to see you grow. That's my strength. You know, since morning, I've not done anything. I feel so tired. But the moment I saw that prompt for class, the energy came. And that's just how it works. It's not my doing, but somehow, no matter how tired I am or how sick I am, when it's time to impact, I find myself doing better. Thank you, Rakia. We need more of this. Memphis, can I access the spelling lesson? Yes, the links to access them are in the group. I don't have the links to the spelling lessons. It depends on, it's not everybody that have access to the spelling course. If you got it, if you paid for it, you're supposed to have access to it. Assistant link, ma'am. Jenny crying. I don't understand what you mean. Ma'am, can we have this class again on this topic? Meaning of ABE method. A stands for answer, P stands for prove, E stands for expatiate. You're welcome, Billy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you. You're welcome, everyone. I need to go now. Have a wonderful night rest. Tessie, if you paid for it, which of the groups are you? You're welcome, Afoma. Thank you. I just joined. How do I get? Modesta, how do you get what? What do you want to get? I paid for it. Which group are you? Those that are saying you paid for the spelling group. If you're in the exclusive group, it's in the exclusive group. It's also in the, I think it's also in the special birthday group. I'll check and resend. The replay will be sent to all public speaking groups. If you're not in the public speaking assignment group, please join as I send short videos there for us to discuss. I think I still did 2 weeks ago. So please join. Any other question? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for showing up. I love you too, Ogundiran. Of course you will. Keep practicing, keep learning, you will. I was teaching a private client this morning. No, it was last night. It was her first class. And she said, how were you able to do so much? How were you able to do so much? And I said to her, this is something I've been doing for 7 years. 8 years of practice. So the more you practice, the better it becomes. Okay, I love you, everyone. I need to leave now. Have a wonderful night rest. If you have any question or complaint, please send it to any of the groups that you are. Please make sure that you are in the public speaking assignment group, as we usually criticize and study short videos of public speakers or movies where public speaking 1 or 2 is being done. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night rest. I love to see you grow, keep learning, and most importantly, keep practicing. When you learn, you have it here, you become knowledgeable. But to become skillful, to be able to showcase it, you need to practice, you need to do. Do not wait until the spotlight is on you before you practice. Practice in your own corner. That's why we have our phones. Before we use the mirror techniques, now we have the phone techniques where you could record yourself, watch your recording, and criticize yourself. That's why you have me as your coach. Send it to me. Let me also watch and criticize you, right? Thank you, Goody Run. They are all fine. Your baby really showed me when today. Look at him. I've been standing for 2 hours. Since we started, I've been standing because of him. He's well. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.